check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Well, hello.
Hello there.
Your beard is looking excessively fantastical.
Well, thank you. Full, healthy, sexy, just all of that. I'm using this new product as well.
Do you want to share it? Should we start selling it? Maybe we need to have ads. Like, can this be our first product we sell?
my brother laughs at me because it's called beard butter.
Yeah, that's a nice name. Actually, that's a cool name. That probably does actually sound. I was just thinking the other day that I have all these different ideas for products. Like we should come up with one. We could sell it. we could have ads on our own show. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. What
I was just gonna go into that, but go ahead.
What I wanted to bring up today, so I had a topic for us to discuss, is the idea of fat shaming.
Ooh, you know what? You and I are seriously like just on this like wavelength together where we just surf the same mental energy, because I actually, let me just tell our viewers, let's be open with our viewers. You asked me, did I have anything to talk about today? And I said, nah, you go ahead and handle that. And then you went off on me. But anyway, I
went off on me.
She didn't go off on me. She just became
bring some stuff to the table every once in a while. And then he once again informed me that he's a talent and that I must do everything while he just shows up.
Do everything while I show up.
It out. We are working it out.
We are working it out. I like the way negotiations are going. Right now, you do everything. Right now, you do everything.
I do everything. And more stuff comes up, I do it because you're the
butter
talent.
in and show up. I just comb the beard, show up, put the, hey, excuse me, powder. Anyway, but I was thinking about body image, but I didn't know how to necessarily approach it. So I just left it at the back of my mind. And I said, I'll bring this to her when I have more salient thoughts to bring to the table. But we were actually thinking about the same thing. So go us. Okay, what about body shaming?
So there was this thing on TikTok, which got shared wildly through all of social media, Twitter and Facebook and everything, about this woman discussing fat shaming, but she took it a little far, I think. So I want to, and I'm going to practice again screen sharing because I want to continually practice this, because for those who are watching us in the beginning, all two of you, you know that like last week we had like these super fun videos, but I don't know if you could hear the sound. So we're going to try again, and we're going to keep
actually they don't know that yet, but
well, by the time they see this, they will have known it. And hopefully get this right. But so this is the video that's become like all the rage. This woman on TikTok basically is responding to, apparently there was this TikTok of this guy and it shows him like dancing. And then it says, when a bigger girl comes and tries to dance on you, and he shows a face like this, like, ooh, okay. So
I have thoughts.
This is okay. Maybe you want to say your thoughts first.
No.
I think you should say your thoughts first. Say your thoughts first.
I was going to say in the most non-humorous way, like, I like to dance with chubby girls. I do. They're so fun. They're not trying to look sexy. They're not trying to like show off what they think they have. They're just out there having fun. And I'm very much like that. And as you know, I was in Vegas this weekend and I was just like making sure everybody was not ashamed of who they were. So that's where we're at.
So and that's just natural. Like you have a preference. Like you're comfortable dancing with anybody. Some people are not comfortable dancing with somebody who is too thin. So like we do have natural preferences, but she took this to another level, saying that's not a preference. It's actually fatphobic and fat shaming. And let me just show you this because I feel like it's like, wow, it's a lot, but maybe you won't think so. Let's see. I'm gonna make this bigger. Hopefully you guys can see us on the side. Like, Mike, can you see me right now?
I can see you, but I cannot see me.
Okay. I'm gonna check and show it and just to make sure. And now let's play this and hopefully you can hear it. Here we go.
Bestie, you're wrong. I think it's time for another adult pre-K lesson. What do you think? All right, turn your listening ears on. Zoop, catch a bubble in your mouth. Good job. Okay, here's the thing. Having a preference is something like, I'm looking for a partner who likes kayaking or wakes up early in the morning or loves pizza. But when your preferences exclude an entire group of marginalized people, that's problematic. Okay, that's not nice. That's not a preference. If you lump all fat people in one group together as though they are not very different individuals, that's fatphobic. Just like lumping all black people in one group and saying, I don't like black people is racist. And lumping all disabled people in one group and saying, I don't think people in wheelchairs are hot is ableist. Do you understand what I'm saying?
First things first, let's get this out of the way.
All
This
right,
bitch
so
is
this
extremely condescending
Oh,
toward the
okay.
viewer.
This is
Wow.
actually YouTube. Hold on.
Come on now, what are we in pre-K? You're treating them like
Was that a zombie apocalypse we were just witnessing, or?
Oh, hold on. No, I can't find it to get rid of it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We have so many problems there.
This is why I'm the talent and you're the engineer.
This is why we can't. This is why we can't do nice things. Okay.
Negotiations are going well though.
I don't know. I don't even know where the video went to get back to it. Like that's just messed up.
Oh, was that not it?
No, that was it. So
Oh, okay.
So this was a YouTuber showing the video and then responding to it. You heard his video. So my question for you is number one, are fat people marginalized? Number two, is it fatphobic to not want to dance with fat people? Number three, is she taking this too far? Like I feel like listen, I have gone through periods of being fat in my life. I was fat for like 5 years after I had my son. You know, you go through these times. Yes, I was. And
You were fat in your mind, but go ahead.
No, I mean, compared to now, I was like 60 pounds more than I am right now. I was clinically obese, you know, I was actually, was I as big as her? No, but I was very big. But to say that it's not a preference, like, oh, it's only a preference if you want to kayak or if you like birds, like that's a preference. But to say that you don't like fat people, that's fatphobic, and we're a marginalized group. Like comparing fat people to black people, like black people are born black. You put the food in your mouth, you chose to be fat, and people are gonna be mad at me for that, but I know it. When I do it, I put the damn Twinkie in my mouth and I didn't stop, and now I'm fat. I am not
I've never seen you eat a
marginalized.
Twinkie.
I was not marginalized when I was like, I made my choices. So I just found this. I was like, ooh, and just like the manner in which she was saying it was like so condescending. I was like, oh my. I was like, is this what it's come down to? Like, is this it?
Is that it?
No, I have a lot more, but please.
Oh, okay. I was okay. Well, yes, there is a lot of meat on that bone. I have never agreed with someone and disagreed with them at the same time so much in my entire life. So let me see if I can gather my thoughts, what I wanted to touch on first. Yes, for sure, she was condescending. My second thought in watching her, so actually, I don't know if the viewers got to see it, but before you hit play, I saw the caption on the side that said something like "fat shaming is racist," and
that's what she said.
Yeah, and I thought to myself, like, but doesn't racism have to involve race? Like, well, how can fat shaming someone be racist? So anyway, I just thought that was ridiculous.
If you're choosing not to dance with somebody just because you think they're fat, and again, and fat is just in the eyes of the beholder, right? Like you said, oh, I wasn't fat. Like,
of course,
it's not even fat shaming. It's just a preference. Like, I just, when you see somebody at the club, and whether or not what if you're not attracted initially to people with brown hair? And, like, is that like, are we marginalized people now? The brown hair people, like.
Yeah, so here's my thing. I actually had a conversation yesterday with someone, and maybe that's why I was thinking about body image. I had a conversation with someone that um I had thoughts on, and it made me think about all this stuff. But anyway, a I think the premise that that someone who does not like fat people makes them like the equivalent of a racist is silly. That's the first thing. I think that we all have preferences about everything, right? You may not like V-neck t-shirts. I like V-neck t-shirts, right? That's a preference.
Yeah,
If I got
don't
on
like
here
your
and I was
hat.
like,
Like it was like it's
you don't like my hat?
no, I do like your hat. It's
Oh,
nice.
okay. If you were to make a TikTok video saying how much you hated people that wore V-neck t-shirts, I guess I would liken you to the lady who was just bloviating about fat shaming. I think that she doesn't understand, or maybe because she's clearly dealing with weight. I don't know how she feels about herself. I hope she loves herself, but I don't know how she feels about herself. But she's probably clearly someone who's very sensitive to the issues of overweight people. Let's not call them fat people. That could just be mean. And I am someone who's dealt with weight my entire, at least adult life, since I left high school and wasn't, as vigilant or playing sports and all that about taking care of my health. I'm a lot better now in the last 10 years since my father passed away, but it was a good motivation for me the way he died to really start taking care of myself. I mean, there was a time when you didn't even know me. I was 368 pounds. Like the most you've ever seen me at is like the high 290s. And now I'm in like the mid 270s and float to the 260s. And I still could lose 30 pounds easy. So anyway, that's all to say I understand what it's like to be fat. But I also would understand if I walked into the club at 370 pounds, why I might not be the one that's getting all the attention from the ladies. And I can't get on TikTok or YouTube or podcast and start talking about how people suck because how they treated me at the club.
Because it's
I
everybody else's problem that you're fat.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not in and it's here's the thing. Even if you're fat because you have, and this was part of my conversation yesterday, by the way, even if you're fat because you have some very rare like glandular disorder that you don't control, and maybe it wasn't your issue of eating and not working out and so forth, you still can't be mad at people for not being into whatever you bring to the table, right? So you, for instance, if you were not attracted to black guys and I was trying to hit on you and trying to get your phone number and all of that kind of stuff, and you were just nice, but you rebuffed my advances towards you, I can't be mad at you and be like, oh, that chick is racist because she's not into black guys. Like, what if your best girlfriend is black, but you're just not attracted to black men? That doesn't make you a bad person or a racist. Now, if you're like, I can't stand black men because of stereotypical stuff like, oh, I think they have bad credit, or he's probably in some phase of the correctional system or something like that, well, then you're just an asshole at that point. And I'm glad you didn't give me your number or want to talk to me because I wouldn't want to know you. But if you're just like, I'm just not physically attracted to you, that's I have people that I'm physically attracted to and people that I'm not physically attracted to. If someone's being mean to that poor girl and calling her names and treating her less than human, I will be the first person to defend her. If she is mad because some guys don't want to dance with her because they're not into whatever she looks like dancing on the floor, that's not their problem. That's her problem. And she just has to understand that.
That, I mean, that's a metaphor for basically everything in life, I think.
Right? I
Like
mean,
we want to yell and scream about everybody else but instead of really looking at ourselves and like, number one, she's a beautiful girl. Like she's beautiful. I think she's married. I think I saw that she's married. Like clearly she has her own internal issues with her weight. And that's what
Right.
happens when you start yelling about how everybody else has a problem. It's not everybody else's problem, it's yours. And there's a lot of, I mean, the reason why a lot of us are overweight, especially in this country, right? I mean, we have a lot of mental issues that go along with it, and ways that we've coped through life. And a lot of it is food, comfort, and, just being happy in that moment, shoving shit into our mouths. So there's a lot of work to undo all of that. And so I feel like sometimes our society, in attempting to be incredibly open and accepting of everybody, which we should be,
Or
at the
politically
same
correct.
time, it's allowed people to become victims to themselves. We, instead of empowering themselves to say, hey, I am beautiful. I'm beautiful the way I am. I love what I do. Maybe she's very healthy. You don't have to be thin to be healthy. Maybe she eats very incredibly great food, just a lot of it, right? Like, none of your body love is amazing, but at the same time, you can't then say that everyone else has to love you the way you love you. Like, just do you. Love yourself.
Well,
But clearly you don't, if you're saying stuff like that.
one thing that has kind of bothered me as of late, and as of late equals the last few years or whatever, is like celebrities, people who have some level of fame, who are overweight, and they'll talk to their millions of followers and tell them, like, just love you the way you are. Like, I'm in agreement with that, but I think that should be specific to. No, let me kind of change this, because I was about to say something that wasn't going to sound right.
Why?
Yes,
Why are you censoring yourself?
Well, because I think what I'm going to say is going to sound incredibly, like, shallow. But okay, I'll tell you what I was going to say and what I mean to say. I was going to say, yes, I think that should be a more internal look at yourself, who you are, what you bring to the table, your intellect, your personality, your humor, your wit, whatever it is that makes you you. Yes, I love that. And then I was going to say, but when it comes to physically, like, I don't agree with people giving people justification for being 40% body fat, or having a BMI of
40%.
50.
It's like 60%. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, and that the girl who was speaking was uh like morbidly obese, in my opinion, because she probably could lose, like, literally like half of her body weight, just from what I could see from the sort of chest up. But I do want you to love yourself physically. But what I really mean to say is, I wish you would love yourself to your best, meaning love you enough to make sure that you are allowing your best physical self to come out. And I'm not talking about so you can have abs and everyone think you're sexy and all that kind of stuff. I'm saying, like, my dad died from complications of diabetes, okay? Like, literally all his internal organs began to shut down, and eventually his heart just stopped, and that was the technical cause of death, was that his heart stopped. But it was as a result of just everything else just not doing what God intended it to do. And so what I'm saying is that when he died, because of all of these physical maladies that he had, it inspired me and my older brother to really, consider our health. Because when my dad died, that's when I was at the 350, 360 pounds. And literally, like, 2 weeks before he died, my brother convinced me to, like, start exercising again. And, because those who loved me and knew me could see, like, I was just really getting out of control with my weight, like, out of control. When you're flirting with 400 pounds, I don't care who you are, you're in a bad way. And so anyway, my encouragement to her and to everyone else would simply be, like, life just is better when you're physically healthy. I don't care what anyone has to say. I don't care what the politically correct thoughts
and we
on this
don't.
are.
Yeah, but why is that not political? Are you hearing my?
I can.
I'm sorry. Why is that not politically correct? That's the thing. I mean, that's the whole thing that came about also this last year with the COVID, is that people who are trying to preach about, hey, we need to start considering our health, because we're on track for 60% of Americans to be obese shortly.
Oh, I thought the number was even higher than
60%.
that.
That's, I mean, and that immediately creates a whole host of health problems. Like you were saying, you had diabetes. A lot of people are having type 2 onset diabetes, which just causes a whole host of other problems. But we cannot talk about, it's not politically correct to talk about being healthy, because then somehow you're fat shaming
You're
people.
fat shaming.
And that's ridiculous. That's so
That's
ridiculous.
absolutely ridiculous.
I wanted to
that's
show
so
this
ridiculous.
response to hold on. I want to show, there was a guy who is also bigger, and he responded to this. So I wanted to show that here.
Marginalized people, I'm sorry. You're fat, not oppressed. If somebody doesn't want to date me, that's okay. I have been rejected more times than I can count. But being fat is a choice. Granted, we all get there different ways. Me, instead of going to therapy, I decided to eat my feelings. Really bad idea, by the way. Nobody is obligated to like you or want to date you or to even consider you attractive. I don't know where this is coming from. Basically, what you're saying is, if you don't date me because I'm fat, you're fatphobic. Like, no. As a fat dude, I can tell you for a fact, the bigger you are, the harder time you have cleaning yourself. In other words, it's already stanky, it's even stankier. We, as fat people in general, should not be celebrated. We shouldn't be relentlessly bullied either. We should be encouraged. But come on.
And your preference is exclude an entire
Oh, here we go again. Hold on. There we go. I think I got it. I love what he says. I love that he takes responsibility for where he is in life. He's like, yeah, I ate my feelings. That's what a lot of us do, because we talk about a lot on our show, but we just don't have the mental capacity. We don't have the tools. We don't have right. We're finding this all out, now that it's more than just a bodily, like, oh, get yourself out and exercise. Sometimes you can't even do that because your mental capacity just like literally you won't get out of bed. You won't, and instead I just want to go and eat a cheeseburger and fries. But the problem with our society, from my point of view, is that instead of being able to figure out what these tools are that we truly need, not just like tell someone like go exercise, because obviously that just doesn't do it, not just to tell somebody eat a salad, because that just doesn't, we need the whole total like tools to start retraining ourselves to understand our emotions and our feelings and how to feel them without having to go and run to the food because you feel like shit. And it's crazy for your sense of well-being. I know when I was what you call not fat, but when I was fat, I know when I'm probably 10 pounds more than I really need to be at my peak health. I know even just as 10 pounds, I'm more agitated easily. I'm less patient. I have a worse frame of mind more often than when I am 10 pounds less than this. Like I literally feel like I'm living. Whereas right now, there are times that come in that are just like, oh, like I feel more of the verge of depression. I feel all of these things happen with just a few pounds extra on my body frame. And I realize that because I pay attention to it. Does that mean it's easy? No, it's still freaking hard for me to lose this 10 pounds because I'd rather go drink wine and eat cheese puffs and whatever, than to really do the work that I need to do to not have this extra 10 pounds. But there is no shaming of people who have extra weight at all from me anyways. But the idea that we can't have the discussion about how vitally important it is to be healthy because that's fat shaming, I think that's ridiculous. And I think you're exactly right. Like I think the famous people are like, oh, you should love your body. Of course you should. I mean, self-love is a thing that we're seriously lacking. That's why we end up with all these issues. We don't even know who we are as people. Of course, you should love yourself at every moment, but you've got to be healthy because otherwise that's like this whole COVID thing. I mean, how minimal would it have been if all the people, because 97% of the people had an average of 4 other comorbidities. I mean, how minimal would it have been if we were all just a healthy society? Right. But you can't say that. Instead, you can only say like, no, you can't say that. You have to say, get your vaccine and then go take and get a donut. And it's like, this is so ridiculous. Like, what have we become?
Well, I think, and I'll address her once again. I think, and I like what he had to say, by the way, but she's not looking at this sort of pragmatically. She's not looking at it like realistically. When you compare fat people to marginalized people, I don't think she understands that basically anyone who is not a middle class white man is marginalized in this country. That means all women of any color, any shape, any size, non-Christian, right? Definitely marginalized. So if you're Muslim, then you're already put into a basket full of people who think you will blow up something just because you're Muslim, right? I can go on and on and on, and obviously Black people, right? So I can speak to that being Black. I know what marginalized means, or feeling marginalized. So I think she's taking it to an extreme that just makes it not make sense, in that anyone who's really just listening to her and not emotionally involved with her is going to say to themselves, like, what the hell is she talking about? We're all marginalized again if we're not middle to upper income white men in this country. That's just a fact, right? Maybe some are marginalized to a greater degree, but we are all marginalized from that point. I honestly would love to sit and talk to her, because she's probably like a really nice person. She's probably really intelligent, probably could have a great conversation. And I would honestly just want to tell her, like, I think you feel bad about you. And whatever made you make this video and make it public and all that probably really hurt you. And that's really the problem. That's what you really want to talk about. You want to talk about someone who fat shamed you. And I'm assuming and hoping it's not her husband, but someone who fat shamed her. And you can't just impugn the entire human race for having preference, because if she's being honest, she has preferences. I would ask her, like, give me a picture of your husband, or let me meet your husband. I bet there's something about him that you wanted, which is why you married him. And if he was the exact opposite of that thing that you wanted, you probably wouldn't be married to him. You have a preference. I married my preference. I absolutely married my preference. That doesn't mean that I don't think there are attractive white women, or attractive Asian women, or attractive Latino women. I think they're beautiful women in every group of people. But for me, I just literally loved the dark skin that my wife brings to the table, and all the beauty that she brings to the table. And if you're gonna shame me for thinking that I'm wrong for thinking that's beautiful, then you just gotta shame me, because I don't give a damn. And that's just the truth.
Well, I think, and maybe I can close it out with two things. One, I think I'll reiterate, I think most of the issues that we have in life that we want to blame everybody else for is issues within ourselves that we are unresolved. So like you said, whether someone has fat shamed her, or whether she inside, she's telling herself she's beautiful, but inside she knows she wants to get to a healthier point, and so you can yell about the whole world, but really you have to do the work inside to figure that out. And number two, did you watch Bo Burnham's new Netflix special? I think he's fascinating. He's a, I don't even know what you would call him. I'd call him an artist. He's a comic, I think they call him, but he does his own independent shows. He has this new one, and he filmed, wrote music, did everything himself in this past year during the pandemic, in his house, in a room in his house. So I would just go watch it. It's called Inside. But
Okay.
he has one skit. Watch some of his other stuff first to see. I just think he's a very talented young man. He has a bit, and he writes the music, and he sings, and he's like, do we have to share every fucking opinion on social media? And I was like, it's so true. It's like, why do we feel the need to blast our opinions out to the entire world for every single thought that we have? Like, if we could just stop ourselves right there, like, we could solve like half the world's problems. Like, every opinion you have doesn't need to be blasted, doesn't need a TikTok, doesn't need like
this has been my entire problem with social media since social media became a real thing. Social media literally created just a narcissist society. Everybody thinks that everybody is a philosopher. You put your thoughts on the Instagram, have a wonderful day because you're you. It's like, yeah, okay, great. Come on. Everybody thinks that everything they have to say is so important, and it's really not. It's really not.
So if
It's
we could
not.
all just enjoy what it is, it's just entertainment value, and just have fun. Like that's the whole point. Like if you have a negative opinion about something, maybe you can think to yourself, well, is this valuable? Is it like there's a difference between constructive criticism and then just blasting people because you don't like what they think. And I would say most of social media is the latter. Like I very rarely see actual constructive criticism on social media. And what I mean by that is like actually saying things that maybe they don't want to hear, but in a way that's assisting them to build themselves better. Like, I never respond to anything on social. I have had times where I was like, nope. Like no, because it's not necessary. Not only that, but like if you think about it for a day, you're like, oh yeah, like why would I say that? Like, so anyways, I thought this was super interesting. I felt some sort of way when I was watching the video, and I was like, this girl's beautiful. Like, why are you yelling to the world? Because it honestly, like, you look. This is gonna sound bad, but you look ugly. The way you made that video telling people blow a bubble in your mouth and like you look ugly and you were a beautiful woman, no matter what size you are. Yeah, you're big. She's beautiful. Like, I wish I had her tits. Like, great. Like, but the way you're acting is ugly. And the way our society is allowing it is becoming ugly. Like we need to focus on our health. We need to. Yes, we are all beautiful and we need to understand that, but we need to focus on our health. It matters.
She just comes off very hurt. That's what I see. When I see her talking, I just see a hurting human being. That's all that I see. I would want to just see her and give her a hug and tell her like, look, yeah, like, look, I have definitely been that super fat.
I will dance with you.
Talking about. Let us commence dancing.
Now turn on the music.
Would you like to be in my Thriller video? I will put you in a place of prominence. Of course, you cannot go in front of Nicole.
Nicole's kicked out.
No. Nicole's gonna have to be one of the frontline zombies. But listen, you dance right behind her and you just shake that thing. You just shake that thing until it falls off. And let's go from there. And after that, we'll just go get some hot wings and we'll just be happy with life.
I love hot
no. Oh, you love hot wings?
Yes.
Remember we used to get hot wings? Side note.
Okay, so we got to say goodbye because now it's going to go into a whole different direction. Side
Do you
note,
remember when?
We can have a whole episode about hot wings. But let's end this episode with some love. Number one, love everybody. I tell them, I just had this conversation with my kids yesterday, and she was just saying how there was a boy who was mean to her at school, and he's like, oh, he acts like he knows everything, and when I get him out, she's super athletic, and so she can probably run circles around this kid, but he's also very athletic. He looks like he's like 15 and they're 9, and but he doesn't like to lose, right? And so she'll get him out and he'll be like, no, you didn't touch me, no, you didn't, like, so she was telling me the story and I'm just listening, and she was saying, I unfriended him on the game they play. And
she canceled him.
She unfriended him, and she looked at me like, and I said, well, that's okay. I said, I think that's important about understanding is that our society would tell everyone you have to be friends with everybody. Like, no, you don't. We're all very different people, very different backgrounds, and very different ideas about life. You don't have to be friends with everybody. You're going to find your close group of people that you bond with, but you do have to be kind to everybody. There's a difference, right? And that's the thing, is understanding that, like, if you don't bond with somebody, that's okay. Like the idea to say that you have to be friends with everybody you're going to like, that's actually, it makes it harder for everyone trying to do that, I think. And I think that's kind of where we've gotten to this society is like, like, I can appreciate this woman. I can be kind to her and I can give her a hug if I see her. But like, if I only knew about her, what this video said, like, oh, it'd be hard for me to be a friend with her. I'd have to work on that and build it up, and that's okay. Like, just be kind. That's it. That
was like Jerry Springer's like closing thought.
Is it really?
Yeah, that we could. No, I'm saying,
should we start the Springer show, the Moore Jurgens show?
Who's gonna fight?
It's coming. No fighting. No fighting on this show. All right, we're gonna end it because we've gone down the vortex.
You ever been in the middle of the ocean and just no? Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.